Hello folks, now quick fly shop here. I'm going to tie a very quick and really efficient steelhead fly. It's going to be on a tube fly and we're using the Canadian tube fly micro tube. I've already got it started with a little bit of dubbing loop here, and I'm using Simplify's new flat wax thread, which I really like. So I'm just going to spin this up in the dubbing loop, then I'm going to brush it out. I'm going to slip on a Eumer shrimp body onto my tube. That'll be my weight. There we are. Move that around. Get a little bit of hackle plier going on. Hackle plier. Okay. I'll cut this. Yeah, I was using the Stonefo dubbing twister there. I really like it. Really nice. And let's just bring that around. Just a couple of... I'm being very quick here. Don't need much. I just want to have a real nice little bump at the back. Like this. Lock it in. Brush it out in a minute. Then I'm going to slide on my shrimp tube from Eumer. Eumer is a company out of Finland. Good bunch of guys. They're one of the pioneers in this type of stuff. Pretty cool. There's that. Lock this down. And I'm going to brush it up. I'm using a Stonefo dubbing brush, and then I'm just going to flare it up a bit, like so. There, that's a nice back end for a tube. Very nice. Using the Snowy Waldron vise. There. Here is my shrimp tube. And that's going to fit very nicely over this tube, and I'll slide it right down. And again, I'm going to slide it down, I'm going to lock it in place. I'm not going to cut my thread. I'm just going to wrap, 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 wrap into the front. Then I'm going to slip on a disc. I want a little bit of a disc so I can create a flare. So the one issue with most tube flies is that many of the accessories don't fit. So I like the Canadian tube fly company's varieties because they have lots of stuff that will work. Now, there's a flare. That's really going to flare my Marabou. There's that. So, by itself, it's pretty sexy. However, Marabou, store-dyed Marabou, little Christmassy candy cane. And I normally like to tie in my Marabou from the stem. So you can see how that bent over. That's because of this big flare I got going on there. That big disc. There, get that out of there. Cut up most of that stem. There we are. And as typical, what we're going to do is make sure we wet our fingers and bring that Marabou back. Like so. You're going to notice it'll start creating a real nice cup effect. Beautiful. Now those of us that fish steelhead know that pink is magic for steelhead. Actually all salmon as well like pink. Always wet your fingers. Always wet your fingers. Lock that in, and I'm going to brush it just for the hell of it, just so you guys can see how it's going to be. Messy hair day. Beautiful. Wow, that's pretty sexy. Pretty nice. I'm going to top it off with a little bit of really bright red store-dyed Marabou. I don't want a lot. Just enough for a bloody accent. Let's call it that way. Don't want much. I gotta make sure I leave room for my cone after I'm done. So I don't try not to jam this too hard, too much. And this one I'm going to take my hackle pliers, grab onto the tip of this. I get a little more of a controlled palmer with that. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, that's pretty nice. So much for that. Don't need much. There, that's enough. Now, if you were fishing the Skeena, Bulkley, Maurice, any of the rivers, also in Oregon, Olympic Peninsula, mainland Oregon or Washington State, Snake River, this fly, it would really rock, especially with winter fish for some reason. You don't need this kind of a fly for summer steelhead. It's not really necessary. Although in high water early, this would certainly do the trick. So you can see how that red sort of flows and becomes very wavy. Now we're going to put on just a little bit of Flashabou, not much. Let's see, I'm going to get maybe 6-7 strands. Pull it out. There. I like to wet my fingers with this stuff because it's so full of static. By wetting your fingers, you can lay it down. I don't need a lot, just a little bit. There we are. I'll split it and cut it to length in a minute. Underneath, underneath. Yeah. And there we are, folks. Now I'm just going to. Where's there? I'm going to actually whip finish here. I'm not going to put no jungle cock. I'm not going to do any of that silly stuff. This is just a very fishy fly. Super glue. What I really like, the Gulf super glue. And it's brushable. Really nice. There we are. And I never use an oil-based head cement because we use a lighter here and we don't want any fires. Oil-based head cements can cause problems. And I'll slide this on. This actually is a tungsten. This actually is a tungsten cone. And melt the end of the tube. And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Very cool, very sexy, very fishy. Steelhead 2-ply Intruder.